castle creak. Your outcome's looking pretty bleak. Thunder booms and lightning crashes, leaving boots filled with ashes. As we lay you down to rest, we read the pages of the Dead Man's Digest.
Hey everybody, and welcome to the Dead Man's Digest, Season 2, Episode 2.
Finally.
Right.
I'm Darren, and joining me tonight we have...
Me! Nina, of course. Hello.
And...
Travis.
Why do we gotta say our own names? Usually introduce us. What is this?
I know,
Budget
right?
cuts.
Threw me off there.
Budget cuts.
We're changing things up here. So it's been a little while since we've done a Dead Man's Digest.
Too damn long.
About freaking time.
I know.
I think we jumped the gun a little bit on the first one, thinking that reveals were going to come like crazy after that.
You can't blame us. It's just what
I
we're
guess
used to.
Yeah, it's only natural to do that when you think they're probably going to go along the same lines as they did last year. You know, you never know.
Yep.
So
And
that
rumors
was
were
the problem.
Yeah, and rumors were jumping around like crazy, so I didn't even feel comfortable doing like the full rumor reveal or anything until about now as well. So
Yeah.
But hey, it's looking like that map is pretty damn spot on. So
Yeah.
yeah, it definitely looks like it
Let's see.
from everything that we've seen so far.
Yeah.
Yeah, just a quick recap, fast. The ones we've already announced is American Horror Story. That's going to cover Season 2, Asylum, Season 3, Coven, and Season 6, Roanoke. So I mean, we have not done any research on this on our side. I know that for sure. So we haven't been watching this one. We've been busy with something else that we'll talk about in a minute. But
Yeah.
Have you seen any of this yet, Travis? Or
I've seen like 2 episodes of Coven, and I mean, I liked it, but like I don't know, just I couldn't get back into it for some reason. I don't know why. I just think the American Horror Story is too slow for me, man. Like,
Yeah.
I don't know.
They really
But,
do milk out
yeah.
the plots. They really do.
Yeah, I mean the house was great, so I'm okay with it. Like as long as they keep creating like interesting atmospheres for it, basically, then I'm cool with it. Them having a house there, and it's something different. It's not like The Walking Dead where it was the same thing every damn time.
Yeah.
Right. And I mean, from what I see, Coven looks like it could be a pretty good part of the maze. Like, you know, you can never go wrong with. I mean, what are they? Pretty much witches, right?
Yeah, yeah, like New
So-
Orleans witches too. Like the descendants of Salem go down to New Orleans to stir
Right.
stuff up, you know.
I like it. New England down in the South.
And then you got
You guys have seen both those seasons, right? You just haven't seen Roanoke, right?
no, I've seen a majority of Asylum a long time ago, like when it originally aired.
BN before Nina.
Yeah.
So I've never seen it.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I've seen I think like the first episode of Coven.
Really?
Yeah, and then I have not seen any of Roanoke.
We have a lot of homework to do.
Well, damn, you're not that much off me then.
Yeah, we're like in the same
that's what
boat
I'm
here.
saying. Like,
So you saw all the ones from last season, though, right? Those were more
Exactly.
interested in those ones.
Exactly. That's why last year we were so excited because we had actually seen all those seasons pretty much. So this year we seriously do have a lot of homework to do.
So these aren't so these are like the not throwaway seasons, but not as good as the ones from last year.
well, yeah, I think
Obviously.
they popped the first, those three.
I think they're still gonna freaking kill it though, man.
Yeah.
Like
yeah,
from judging from the one last year,
and
you know.
yeah, and they have a lot of stuff they can reuse for a lot of this because they've done several asylum houses in the past. So I'm sure they have plenty of stuff for that. I wonder if we'll see those walls used again. That we saw in
With
Body
Alec?
Collectors.
Oh.
Where they could actually like in Body Collectors, where they could like pop out of the asylum
padded
walls, the padded walls.
Oh,
Yeah.
that was
Oh, yeah.
so creepy. That got me every time.
I wonder if we'll see that in this house in the asylum section. It very much makes sense, so I'm guessing
Yeah.
we will. And then of course, a Coven and Roanoke both. You know, for Coven, they've got Mardi Gras down pat, so they've got like, plenty of stuff they
They
can
got
use
a
from
whole
that.
building full of that.
Yeah, and Roanoke as well, because that's very similar to houses
The
that have been in the
Roanoke
past.
one.
Roanoke,
Yeah.
literally.
It's in the name. Yeah.
They're gonna use the same.
Hope we get those air blasters again.
Yeah.
Yeah, it sounds like it's shooting you when you walk by. Yeah.
But I fully expect this to be a very solid house like it was last year.
And I always love houses that do incorporate different seasons or different kind of, what's the word that I'm looking for? Environments. Because you feel like you're getting 3 mini houses in one giant house. You really do. So
Yeah.
I really enjoy houses that have different settings, within one house.
Yeah.
It's nice.
And the cuts between the seasons were pretty surreal how they did that. It was awesome.
Happy. I'm really happy.
Yeah, that one grew on me. I like, as you guys know, like I said, I put that pretty low on my, or high, however you want to call it. It was like at the bottom of the list.
Mm-hmm.
So, but it grew on me the more and more I went through it. I enjoyed it a lot more. I think I was like looking at it for the wrong reasons or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Like you're not going to get a whole lot of jump scares in there, but you more like it for how closely it is to the movie, the whole, season of it. And yeah, it's not going to be like a jump scare in your face type house. It's more for the scenery and what you can relate it to the show.
Exactly.
Agreed. Yeah.
Which really will lead into the next house, because
Yay!
I think that's going to be another very much a scenic house, and that is The Shining.
The Shining.
Yeah. Definitely excited to see this. I'm definitely expecting a American Werewolf in Paris / Exorcist vibe from it, where it's there for you to see the environments and
that's
see the
what I
detail
was
they
going to
put into
ask
it.
you. I'm like, do you feel like this is going to be like an adaptation,
I feel like it's going to be like the creepy house like Exorcist was last year.
That's
like,
exactly.
I don't know, like you just get a weird vibe when you're in it. I don't know. Like I got a weird vibe every time I went to The Exorcist, but I liked it for some reason. I don't know why. Like, and I know a lot of people didn't like that house last year, but I don't know what it is. There was some kind of extra creep factor to it. I don't know, maybe because I liked the movie a lot. So.
And also the religious undertone. It was just really creepy. Yeah. So this is going to be a creepy one, because when you start talking about supernatural, it's gonna be nice.
What I hope is that they, and I'm sure they are, but for this one they have to take the visuals very seriously, because Stanley Kubrick is, every frame of painting, essentially. You know what I mean? Like every frame of it, every aspect, looking at anything from any angle has to be perfect. Right. And I hope that they take that very seriously and put that to heart, and we get like a fully rendered realization. Because without that, I don't think it really reflects the movie accurately. Because that's the number one thing about that movie is the visuals.
Yeah.
The one thing I worry about is like actually getting the open and vastness of the hotel inside that or is it just going to be you're walking down like a lot of the hallways and stuff? You know what I mean?
That's a good point, because so it's like Ghost Town. Remember last year? It really felt really open, like open. So I think they can do that with The Shining like that, because just like you said, Travis, unless you have that feeling of openness, when you watch that movie, you feel like the entire movie is just like you're in this huge hotel, you're just lost, and there's no way out.
Around.
Exactly.
Roaming around the whole
and I
movie,
felt that
crazy.
way in Ghost Town. I really did. It felt like this is just huge until you got down.
Yeah, and the one scene in particular that I think they have to use to convey that size, and it should be the biggest room if they put it in, is the like lobby / sitting area where he is sitting at the typewriter typing, because in the movie that is a gigantic room.
Right. Yeah.
It's like twice as big as the ballroom.
Yeah, exactly. You nailed it, dude. That's the one scene that I'm thinking of that like you have to get like the vastness, or maybe they're just cut that whole scene altogether.
Yeah.
They're like, sorry, we can't do it.
And another thing, I think this is going to really rely on the actors as well, versus horror story, really the setting and the decorations and everything. And but this house on top, the actors are going to really pull this off.
Yeah, how are they going to portray... You think he's just going to be like a doll or something? How are they going to portray the kid?
I don't know. They've got some weird young actors that they
now hiring 4'8" or smaller females.
It might just be that they might use girls for the role, like the small girls that play the minions normally. They have a lot of options to do that. I think they do need some kind of Danny in there.
Yeah.
So
I don't know. It doesn't seem like there's that many people that are excited for this, man, for some reason. I don't know
That's
why.
weird.
Like, I mean, if it sucks, man, it's gonna like suck bad, and people are gonna, make fun of it.
yeah.
But I think if it's good, obviously it'll get praised. Or, I mean, there might be some people that think it's good, and some people that think it's crap.
Might be a pleasant surprise. Yeah.
I just hope you don't see like I said, like the cracks around the edges and like plywood pieces and things like that you sometimes see with the houses. Like I hope they fully realize that and make sure that and I that's one that I would really like champion for having some roofs on the rooms as well, because they do like to have those open things all the way up to the top of the studio, and that would really kill the immersion, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, if they do that, give it more of like give it more of like the Motel Hell or whatever, like kind of that vibe to it. I think if they did it like that, that shit would kill.
It would.
So, yeah.
Okay.
Right.
Next up.
What's next?
It is Ash versus Evil Dead. I am so excited about this. You have no idea.
Yes, I think it's been a week and a half. Maybe?
I'm like a week-old fan, but I don't care.
She went from not seeing any Evil Dead ever.
I was born in 91, okay? And so by the time I was old enough to see scary movies or allowed to, it was just like the crappy stuff and the really campy stuff. So we got to the original campy stuff. I mean, what's the first one you showed me? Evil Dead 2?
Yeah. We pretty much just skipped to 2 because everybody knows 1 you don't really need to see. If you see 2, it kind of recaps everything. So
your homework is Evil Dead 2, everybody. And Travis.
What's the third one? Army of Darkness or whatever?
Yes, yeah. So basically, the original Evil Dead was like actually made, I think, mostly to be a really scary movie without having like a lot of campiness to it. Mm-hmm. And then Evil Dead 2 was kind of a transition piece that starts off like
comedy in it.
It starts off like serious scary, and then it gets goofy real fast. And then by the end of that, and going into Army of Darkness is just absurd because he gets put back into like this fictional medieval time.
Yeah.
Where he's like helping a kingdom defend against these deadites, the deadites that are attacking the kingdom. So yeah, it's definitely a transition thing there where you can see where the director and writer just decided to change things around completely. And then Ash versus the Evil Dead really just encompasses the campy part of it.
But what makes this? The only thing that saves the show and the movies is Bruce Campbell.
Yeah.
The actor who plays Ash. He is phenomenal because he is just so cheesy, but in a way you're just like, you're funny and cool, but like I want to be like you, but you just, he's just so awesome. So seeing him as an old guy on the show, when you saw him younger, suave and cool, always hitting on the girls, he's just got that personality. Just coming back as an old guy, still,
Hey, he's old, but he's
got it.
He's still a good-looking dude, even like he's, what is he, like probably late 60s?
Probably. Let me see. Where you at?
Probably like late 50s, early 60s.
Oh, he's 59. Oops.
Yeah.
Sorry, Bruce.
Yeah,
you're never going to hear this, but we're sorry.
For some reason. I don't know. I guess if I would have seen the movies and knew his age back when those movies come out in the 80s, right?
Yeah. Well, the movies came out in the 80s, yeah.
And the shows are new.
Late 80s, early 90s, yeah.
Yeah.
And then the show is,
What season are they on
they're
the show?
starting season 3, I think, pretty soon here. But seasons 1 and 2 are complete. So we finished season 1 all the way. We just finished the end of season 1. So
how many episodes is it?
The first season is 10. I don't know how long the second season is.
Are they hour shows or half?
Half hour, but they actually play 23 minutes, I think.
Mm-hmm.
So they show I guess I was going to say they show these, but obviously it's not on cable, so they can cuss and stuff, right?
Yeah. There's always like a TV mature thing in the beginning.
Yeah, a ridiculous amount of blood.
Yeah, it's because for the gore.
That's what this house is going to be full of. Let me read the thing here real quick.
Yeah, I haven't actually read it.
I am thrilled to announce that Universal Orlando's Halloween Horror Nights is partnering with the Starz original series Ash vs. Evil Dead this haunt season. As fans of the series, and of course the earlier films, all of us on the creative team have been waiting years to bring this title to Halloween Horror Nights.
Yay.
I'm not going to read that part.
Is that what Patrick Braillard sounds like?
No, this was somebody else. I forget who wrote this one.
Oh, Patrick Braillard did the Saw one, right?
Yeah, I think he might have done this one too. When developing a new haunt experience based on your favorite movies, shows, etc., different challenges may arise. Creatively as a team, we want to give you, the fans, the best experience possible, while still embracing the authenticity of the movie show. I think that really speaks to, really quick, not reading it anymore, I think that speaks to the Scream House and the kind of situation that they had here, because the Scream House was the same thing. This one, they kind of wanted to do just the original Evil Dead and Evil Dead 2, I think, with this one.
Oh.
And they were kind of obligated to do the
show instead?
Yeah, the show instead, so they did that. So I think that sentence right there tells you that creatively as a team, we want to give you, the fans, the best experience possible while still embracing the authenticity to the movie show. You know,
at least it's not called Evil Dead versus Ash, like they're trying to get around some copywriters.
Let's just reverse it.
Yeah.
Yeah, going back into it, I feel like this house lives up to the stories found within the Ash vs. Evil Dead series, and isn't that what every fan wants to say? We're going to take you, regardless of your awareness of the show or the characters, and throw you into the loud, brash, and very bloody world of Ash. Very, very bloody.
Oh my god, yes.
Very bloody. There are deadites to kill and evil to stop. Let's get to it. With stops in Choklahoma City and Miami. The house will feature various locations from the first two seasons of Ash vs. Evil Dead and lots of blood. And for those in the know, the answer is yes. We'll be going back to the cabin, with a few other surprises along the way.
What's the significance of the cabin?
The cabin is where the first Evil Dead movies takes place. Mm-hmm. The Evil Dead and Evil Dead 2.
And without ruining it, there's an object which summons something bad, and it is first acquired in the cabin.
Yeah.
That's spoiler free.
I thought he had he had a hand in the first one.
He did have a hand in the first one.
You gotta watch it. You gotta watch it.
No, in the first movie he has a hand, and in some of the second movie he has a hand.
So, does he just move? Where does it take place? Does it say, or does he travel around to different states?
He does travel.
They travel a little bit in the movie, but
in the show for sure.
Yeah,
well, I'm looking at it.
I think it literally starts in Oklahoma City.
Yeah, and then Miami is what, Miami?
Yeah, but we haven't seen the second season yet. But at the end of the first season, he's heading to Jacksonville, which is like a magical place to him.
Why Jacksonville? I don't know.
Because that's where he was originally going to go to after the Evil Dead 2.
Just a lot of crime.
And just other things happened. Yeah.
It's so good.
He'd probably end up settling in St. Augustine, right?
Yay!
So it says, this is our blood-soaked, milk-eyed, crass, rock and roll amp, chainsaw-wielding, felt puppet love letter to everyone and everything connected to Ash vs. Evil Dead.
That just is a clap because I'm so excited.
Hey, Granny, I hope you took your Geritol. It's time to dance.
Oh, my God.
So get your boomsticks ready because it's time for Ash vs. Evil Dead. And this is going to be a really good comedy horror house, and we haven't had one. We didn't get one last year. So
is it? But is it like it's bloody to be like comedy bloody, right?
Oh yeah,
like too much.
More blood that's in a person's body. Like maybe like when one person gets killed, there's probably enough blood for 10, I would say. Jeez. And like even the shadows on the walls, that's one thing that they do like artistically in there. When there's like a shadow of blood on the wall, it's red as well.
Beautiful.
So it just kind of amplifies everything.
So what do you think? How do you think they're gonna do this? Like,
just creative deaths. I think they can they don't have to use the same deaths and the same stories from the TV show or even the movie. They can actually just make anything up because the deaths in the show are so unique and crazy and out there. They can literally do anything and it'd still be awesome as long as you have a chainsaw, a gun, and some just blood. I mean, it's.
Yeah.
But how are they going to do blood without like it having to be cleaned up and?
Yeah.
Oh, it'll just be like spattered on everything.
We're going to get sprayed for sure.
No.
You don't think there's going to be anybody getting cut with the chainsaw and blood spraying out or anything like that?
I mean, as much as they can do, it's like you said, they're within their constraints. So.
Yeah.
Right. It's hard to do blood like that in a house.
Yeah, they typically don't. So like they'll mime it and do that kind of thing. You might see some projections of like blood splatter on walls and stuff. I think that's very likely for this house. So
yay!
But then just bringing that comedy back into it is what I'm excited about, because those have always been my favorite houses.
But they better not 3D this house.
No, they're not 3D in the house.
I hope. Yeah, and I was like, surprise, it's 3D. I'd be like, no.
I hope they just nix the whole 3D house this year. To be honest, I don't ever care for.
From what it looks like, I don't think we're getting one. We're going to have a 3D house at all. So
that's good.
Yeah. So after they announced that, we had a while. They didn't announce anything else again. And after that one, like when people were. Oh, well, let's talk about that really quick, because we're going through announcements and everything, and we just have to bring up the elephant in the room, and that was that 30-day countdown on the website that ended in a contest.
What the heck, man?
They ended in a contest and wallpapers for your phone and desktop computer.
Yeah, and if you tried to click on the sweepstakes, you could have got a freaking error message.
Yeah.
So,
like, could that have been any worse? Like, I don't know. And then on top of that, when people like wrote back on Twitter, like obviously mad about it, agitated about it, like whoever was running the Twitter account at the time was just being nasty back to everybody,
really?
Like to the point jerks. Where it wasn't funny, like. And
they're
usually
being smart asses.
Exactly, like real bad, like, oh,
Not
you
cool.
mad, bro? Like that kind of stuff, you know?
Really?
Yeah, like to that level, and it's
what was that one that they were said right after, like a new kind of torture? I'm enjoying this or something like that.
Exactly. Oh yeah, it's a new kind of torture for us. We love it, or something like that.
It's a devil horn emojicon.
Yeah, and then some other kid would like, and some kid like poured his heart out or whatever. He was like really, really mad, and they replied back like, "You seem upset."
No.
Yeah.
I don't go on Twitter, so you're freaking me out. And this is a revelation.
And then
you can go back and still see them.
And then they didn't. And then the account didn't say anything for like a whole week. And I'm thinking that's when the management stepped in and were like, "Hey,
that's not cool.
You guys aren't doing this right."
We messed up.
Yeah. So, and then after that, all of a sudden you get a one that comes out and it's like, "Hey, you guys are great fans. You're very passionate."
Aww.
You know, like, we understand. And that's like, okay, somebody else took over the Twitter. People were speculating it might be Mike Aiello back on the Twitter.
Yeah.
I think it might be Matt Korn.
Yeah, I don't think Mike.
Yeah, I think he's
anymore,
done.
Dude.
But definitely a more seasoned person on there. It's definitely not an intern running that thing anymore.
Yeah.
By the way that they're replying and writing to everybody, like you can definitely tell it's a more deft touch that they're using on everything.
Well, you see, John Murdy has been a lot more like active than I've ever seen him like on Twitter. Like last year, I don't think he was that active.
I mean, he's always pretty active, but yeah, I think he's
been like answering a lot of questions I've seen.
Yeah, he's definitely stepped it up this year, and I don't know if that's with him being more available, having more time to do that, or what. But yeah, it's definitely more responsive, and it's just made it hurt even more. You know, the lack of interaction that the fan community has had from Universal Orlando on these kind of things this time.
Yeah.
And it's not, and like everyone said, it's not like they owe us anything.
They don't. And if there's something that might be going on that we don't understand or don't know behind the scenes, maybe they did expect something announced by that, that date. But, things happen that, that we just out of everyone's control. And I was, a little disappointed, but we're still huge fans.
Or maybe it was just mismanaged.
To be honest with you, I think it may have been internal problems with locking down IPs or
exactly.
Like, changing
just out
stuff
of their
up
control.
At the last minute.
Yeah, they're not doing this to just do it,
Yeah. And things like we heard about, like The Conjuring maybe falling through, and then literally Saw Legacy, which we're going to talk about next, going back into the announcements.
Well, the Conjuring, the reason behind that, right? Because of that big lawsuit that's going on. Because somebody is trying to sue them, saying it's too close to their actual real life.
Yeah.
I'm like,
oh my gosh,
how the heck do you do that? Like,
I don't know.
What?
Yeah,
I mean, isn't every story could practically be someone's life? Oh God, 2017, you're just too much.
Yeah. But yeah, the movie that was originally called Saw Legacy. Mm-hmm. Got changed to just the name Jigsaw. And I think they probably had promotional materials set up, ready to go. This announcement, I'm guessing, was supposed to be made a long time ago. But the name was very recently changed just to Jigsaw.
You mean the movie that's coming out?
Yes.
Soon? Oh.
Yes, it was originally going to be called Saw Legacy. It was on IMDb as Saw Legacy for the longest time. And then they just came out and said the name is Jigsaw.
So this is going to be one of those houses where you get to see stuff before the movie comes out, right?
One scene, they said.
That's it?
Yes. One scene is going to be from that. The other scenes are going to be from previous Saw films because they have plenty to draw from.
Do you want me to read the official announcement from Universal for House?
One last thing.
Yeah, of course.
How is Jigsaw coming back? Isn't he dead?
You thought.
You thought he's reincarnated. It's the Walking Dead Jigsaw.
Oh no!
Combo. That's why you guys know The Walking Dead's coming from it. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah, go ahead and read that.
So this is the official name, right? Saw, the Games of Jigsaw.
Terrible name. Terrible.
I know. Why didn't they just call it Jigsaw,
like the movie? Maze?
Yeah, I don't know. I guess they felt like they had to have the name Saw in there somehow.
I don't like long named houses, but whatever. Here we go.
But it's so stupid. Saw, the Games of Jigsaw.
We're just gonna call it Saw.
Yeah.
Saw.
Yeah, we're gonna end up saying the Saw House. Okay, Jigsaw is back. Just writing those words make me smile. I cannot believe that it has been 8 years since the last time that the Saw franchise was a part of Universal Orlando's Halloween Horror Nights. Jigsaw's return in our brand new haunted house, Saw, the Games of Jigsaw, allows us to place our guests into the twisted situations that fans of the film series have grown to love throughout the years. And while there are nods to the Halloween Horror Nights 19 house, make no mistake, this is not that house. During concept, we were very excited to examine the evolution of Jigsaw in the new film and how that might affect the guest experience. Spoiler alert. You'll be a part of a living preview of a trap featured in the new film Jigsaw, coming out October 27th. Go see it. And I'm reading it just as it writes. Just as it's written. Oh gosh, I'm lost. I turned my phone. Where am I? Also placing the house in a different location this time around gave us another way to elevate the scares. Saw, the Games of Jigsaw functions as one large trap. You'll be funneled through the claustrophobic, visceral experiences and be part of the terrifying quote-unquote games ever devised on screen. Trials that you may be familiar with and some that are completely unknown to you. Sounds fun. The game has changed. Evolved. Drop the mic.
So
breathe. So
Travis, you said you've never seen any Saw movies before?
No, it was never my type of movie, man. Like, I don't...
You only seen people get killed?
No. Well, I like slasher films and stuff like that, and even, like, I take, like, Texas Chainsaw or something that has a lot of stuff like that, but I don't know, there's something that I don't really care to
about
watch
killing
people
for
get,
fun.
like
torture porn?
Getting tortured and stuff. So, I never...
That's what it's called. Nina's covering her mouth.
I'm freaking out.
It's called torture porn.
I don't like that word. You're just saying it on the internet.
It's Hostel. It's those kind of movies that are like torturing for torturing's sake. Like just to be gory, basically. Mm-hmm. I'm okay with it.
Yeah, I like the movies. I really enjoyed The House. I really enjoyed The House. Maybe it was because I scare so easily, and the last house was just full of cages, and the different scenes and scares were encased in the cage.
This
cages.
Is the year I did not go, so.
Oh, and they had those little TVs, the fatback TVs around. So
CRT TV.
CR what?
CRT.
Oh, okay. And so the TVs were around, like your video camera, and you can see like different people being tortured around the place. So you just felt like it was a maze, and you're trying to get out, and there was one scene. There's this big guy sitting in the cage. He's just like, "Help me, help me!" He's got the big box, the collapsing box. Remember the movies when you had to get the key? I think the key was in someone's stomach, and you had to get the key out to unlock it until the little cage on your head would just collapse, and it'll squish your head.
Oh, okay.
See,
so
I'm not trying to watch anything like that. Like, I mean, it'd probably be cool in a house.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, it says it's like a claustrophobic kind of house, so
the
maybe
last
I'll
one
like it.
was
I tend to like this type of
super
houses.
claustrophobic. Yeah.
Yeah.
Really?
It looks like this one, if the rumored map is true, this one's going in Shrek.
Donkey.
Really?
Yeah.
It's a baby house.
Yeah, so it's
they did a pretty big house. They've done pretty big houses in Shrek.
I know.
They've seemed very long.
Yeah, Krampus seemed pretty long.
That's true. Krampus did feel really long.
And the one before it as well. So.
Alice?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Alice.
So that's
okay.
Yeah.
I mean, out of the ones they've announced, that's like the bottom of my excitement list. But still happy, still excited.
Yeah. I think it's going to be a solid house. At least, yeah, really cool visuals and a good opportunity for like the scare actors to like put on scenes, which was really cool. Like in the Halloween house, for example, like where they were able to play out a scene as you went through. I thought that was really cool.
Maybe me not seeing the movies and knowing any of the scares or anything will make it better. I don't know.
Yeah, we'll keep you on that. Don't watch any of the movies.
Yay.
And we'll see how it goes.
Less homework.
We'll do a comparison.
Then we'll have you watch a movie after the first weekend, and then we'll see how you do the second weekend.
Right.
Like, oh, this is terrible now. So that's still the extent of the houses that we have announced so far.
There's still one more announcement.
Yeah, there's still another announcement, but that's all the houses so far.
I know. I just know a lot of people are going to be sad about this next one.
And a lot of people are going to be indifferent, like me.
And me. But I just know we have a lot of friends, like our friend Owen. There's a lot of people that are going to be really bummed about this next one. I can't do this one. One of you guys do this one.
Travis, you want to go ahead and do this one? Spill the beans.
After many, many years, what is this? 92?
91.
They started?
It's like 26 years. It's as
91?
old as I am.
Oh, wait. No, are you right? 92?
It started in 91. It started the year I was born.
I thought it started in 92.
Yeah, because the first year of Hornets was
91.
91.
Yeah,
so,
yeah. It's the same year Beauty and the Beast and Hornets.
So I
my
think
favorite things.
this was the second year.
Right. They didn't do it the first year, did they?
Correct. Yeah,
Yeah.
no, they did not. They did
So
the
92.
Beetlejuice show over by the Bates Motel.
Exactly. So this would be
Gotcha.
the 26. Yep.
So, I'm going to miss it. Bill and Ted, Excellent Halloween Adventure, they're doing the farewell tour this year. It's a little sad to see it go, but, the writing for it has gone down every year since, you don't have these, like, great minds, like, I don't think Mike writes for it anymore. James Michael Roddy doesn't write for it anymore, so it's just not the same as it used to be.
Doesn't have the same tone.
Like
Yeah.
a lot, like I mean, I'm probably gonna get chastised for saying this, but I actually didn't mind the one last year. I know a lot of people hated it. I found it funny. I mean, obviously there was crappy parts of it, but I don't know. So it says Bill and Ted are ready to rock at Universal Orlando Halloween Horror Nights before they move on to their future adventures. After 26 of excellent Halloween adventures, these pop icons are bringing their farewell tour to Universal Orlando's Halloween Horror Nights. Party on as the phone booth lands one more time at Universal Studios. Yeah. It says over the years, this show has morphed and shifted to fit with the changing tides of pop culture, which maybe that's the reason why I mean, I know that's the whole extent of the story, but maybe our pop culture is getting crappier now. I don't know.
Yeah, I think
know,
that's more the problem than
We
anything.
can't just keep talking
Right.
about Kim Kardashian and Pokemon all the time.
Yeah, exactly. But continuing, it says, but at its heart, it remained true to its nature. The Wild Stallions from San Dimas and their traveling...
San Dimas.
Sorry.
I didn't know either. Don't feel bad.
San Dimas. Where's that even at?
California, man.
Is that real?
Yeah, it's a real place.
Really?
Yep.
Okay. And their time-traveling phone booth finds himself in the middle of pop culture parody, chaos, and must somehow save the world yet again. But now the time has come for these most outstanding dudes to find adventure in other places and other times. On a personal note, I've had the pleasure and privilege of writing and directing Bill and Ted's excellent Halloween adventure for the past 7 years.
That's Jason Sorrell, by the way.
Gotcha. It goes without saying that the show means a lot to me. Working on Bill and Ted's has been one of the most enjoyable parts of my year, and they have meant a lot to so many people. Since 1992, hundreds of talented individuals have worked on its production and numerous performers have graced its stage. It also means a lot to the fans. Wild Stallions fans are loyal, supportive, and the central reason the boys have had so many adventures.
Station!
The quote-unquote farewell tour gives us the perfect opportunity to give Bill S. Preston, Esquire, and Ted Theodore Logan proper send-off.
That was good.
This year shows everything you'd expect from Bill and Ted's excellent Halloween adventure. It's relevant, it's ridiculous, it's irreverent.
What a word.
It's edgy, and at the end of the day, it's just a good time.
Yep.
Years from now, we'll look back at the unrestrained joys this show provided for so many of us, and honestly, there may never be anything quite like it again. Probably not, but let's hope whatever they put in their place is good. So join us this Halloween. We'll laugh, we'll dance, we may shed a tear or two. We'll take with us some triumphant memories, and we'll never forget Bill and Ted's simple mantra, which still rings today: be excellent
to each other.
So, first thing I want to know is, how crazy do you think that this last show is going to be?
That's what I was
It's going to
thinking.
be
Good
insane.
You better have a freaking RIP tour that night.
You better be standing there from the second the event opens. I mean, there's going to be a line
That's
for
a
the
good
last
idea
show.
to do the RIP tour that night.
Yeah.
Honestly.
That is the only way you're getting to that last show.
Yeah, because you know how Universal is about people like lining up super early. They're not going to let people do that.
No.
Yeah. But
So, I don't know. I don't know how they're going to do it. They're going to have a freaking time on their hands right there.
It's going to be at capacity instantly.
Yeah.
Oh, and I forgot one thing. Oh, do you want me to do this one? There's a rumor
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
that supposedly Jason Ryan Perry, which, most people know as Ted, will maybe be reprising his role for the last farewell tour. So
Yeah.
He has.
There
that
have
would be
been
awesome.
Yeah, there have been a couple of indications, like some rumors on the forums, but more like actual indications between like him and James Keaton talking back and forth that I feel like might be it. It might might be the rumor. So we'll see.
That'd be awesome.
Yeah.
Why not?
That'd be emotional. I've got goosebumps.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not even a huge fan. And
It would be crazy. Or if they, like somehow incorporate everybody that's been on the show, in the past years, like at least for that very last show.
yeah.
That would be incredible. And
Yeah, because the one that plays Bill has been doing it for a while, right? Like,
Yeah. Yeah, for a very long time. I don't know how long exactly, but I think at least for like the last 7 years
he's the one that most people know. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
They think of as their Bill. So I don't know. You think that had to do with why a lot of people didn't like the show last year, because it was a different Ted.
I don't know. I think the guy that played Ted last year was really good.
He did a great job.
Yeah,
Great
I
job.
thought he was good.
Yeah, for someone that has big shoes to fill in there,
Right.
He did a great job because not only is he filling the shoes of Jason Ryan Perry, but before that, James Keaton has had that role before as well, and Kevin Vincent. Like, there's been a lot of good Universal actors that have taken up that role, and he did a great job of jumping right in there.
It's definitely big shoes to fill, man. Especially when you got to do that. You got to do that. How many times they do that show at night? Like 5 or 6 times.
That's what I was thinking. That is a toll on those dancers.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, props to them.
I feel like it'd be fun though. Like, I probably could never do it because I
No
don't.
way, not me either.
I don't think I could perform in front of that many people, but
Yeah.
it would if you had the.
Let alone in your underwear,
Yeah,
practically.
no one wants to see us with our shirts off. We're good.
Right. So yeah, that would be awesome if Jason came back and did it for the last year. I mean, unless his schedule is conflicted, I don't see why he wouldn't do it. It's the last one, man. You got to do it.
Yep.
Yeah, I hope so.
I hope.
Yeah, but it'll be interesting. I definitely will watch the show a couple of times this year when I typically don't make a priority. I see it at least once every year, but I don't make it a priority every year. But I definitely will be this year to see.
We always go at least once, but I think this year
Yeah, man,
we're going to go at least a few.
Yeah.
I feel like I'm gonna try. I might try to do it every night if I can.
Yeah, I think this one might be way more Bill and Ted focused.
I hope.
So I'm gonna get like 20 Bill and Ted viewings.
Yeah, that would be awesome.
Yeah.
So yes, but speaking of rumors on that, I'll just talk about the other rumored houses and everything we have going on now.
Right.
Real quick, the next IP house that should be announced is Bloomhouse of Horrors, which is a name that was copyrighted and trademarked by Bloomhouse. It just kind of fits in with the theming here, and it looks like that one is going to be a mix of sinister and a lot of.
I hope we get Insidious.
Insidious, yeah, that's right. And I think there might be a couple other houses mixed in there a little bit, but I think the main two are going to be those two.
Right.
Do you know they also produce Purge Anarchy?
Yep.
Wow.
Purge, Paranormal Activities, movies,
Get Out,
yeah.
Conjuring.
Wow.
I've heard the Hollywood
Insidious.
one is going to have a little bit more variation in the movies than ours is, but
So, how many houses has Hollywood confirmed? I haven't really been keeping up with Hollywood too much.
I'll look that
I know
up.
they did. They did like an icon house, right, where it's Freddy, Jason, and Leatherface, right?
yeah, no, that's their tram tour this year.
Are you sure? I thought I was listening to one
It's
of the
the
podcasts today,
Masters
and they
of
said
Horror.
that there was a house that was.
Well, there
also-
might be a house along with it, but it is definitely the tram tour this year.
Right. And it's like, it's Chucky that's presenting it, right?
Let's see. I got it pulled
I
up.
think it's all three. Let's see here.
Okay, American Horror Story, The Shining.
I feel like most of their stuff is the
Jabberwockies.
same as ours, except that one.
Sorry, I got a slow.
Unless that was just a rumored house.
No, hang on a sec here.
I've got the slowest phone ever that's not wanting to work with me.
Yeah.
Fix your website.
Maybe you're not clicking the arrow. You're too drunk.
No, I'm not. There's a crack. Walking Dead.
What?
Ash vs.
Oh yeah, that's a
Evil, Red
permanent
Dead.
house. Yeah.
That's it.
No, there's still another arrow there.
Sorry, I'm blind.
No, I think they've announced something else.
Well, their website's poop. Here we go. Mazes.
Yeah, go to Mazes.
Sorry, I'm an old lady.
American Horror Story, Roanoke. Yeah, there are horror stories just Roanoke.
Yeah. Huh.
Oh, you gotta do the drop down. Shining.
The
Ash.
Shining, Ash vs. Evil Dead, Titans of Terror, Saw, and then 2 coming soons.
Here, let's go to.
Maybe that's
So
a
they do have the
rumor.
Titans of Terror. The Titans of Terror is the one that you're talking about with all
Right.
three of the Freddy, Jason, Leatherface, and Chucky.
Gotcha. Yeah.
Yeah, hosted by Chucky. That's gonna be so cool.
Yeah, and then the Terror
Dude.
Tram is all 3 of them as well.
I'm so
Why
jealous
the heck
about
can't we
that.
get that?
I am so jealous. Those are all like my
Hey,
favorite.
maybe-
Freddy, Jason.
Maybe we'll get announced, but that's not even a rumored one. But
No, I don't think that's happening for us this year. No,
Man,
we've
those
had
are-
all 3 of them as an icon before. Halloween Horror Nights
and
Sweet 16.
Chucky. I know,
Yeah.
but those are my 4 favorite. Like, hands down.
Okay, but we
4
can't do the same
favorite.
thing every year.
What's wrong with the same thing? They do Walking Dead every year. Why
Okay,
can't we have
you want
Freddy
that?
every year?
No thanks.
No.
You want
so
you want
what,
Freddy
you
to
wouldn't
turn
be
into
on,
Walking Dead?
You wouldn't be on board with this if they did it here, Darren?
No, it's not time for it yet.
Yes, it is.
They,
Why you think it's too soon?
Yes, it
Because
is.
of Leatherface?
And Freddy
I want-
versus
I want
Jason,
new
probably.
things. That's what I want. I want new things.
He likes the original houses. He
Yeah.
really does.
On top of that, I just want new stuff. I don't want to go to the event and see the same thing every time.
No, I agree.
Okay.
I know.
Jeez, crucify me for it.
Crucify.
The rest of the houses we've got possibly, these are rumors, okay, these are all originals. The Bayou of Blood, Dead Waters, that's based on the popularity of the Bayou of Blood scare zone that they had. Maybe the Voodoo Queen will get to see her kill scene again.
I was gonna say they had for one day.
I think that would be pretty awesome. Like,
Yeah, if they just had
hopefully they do that.
that- yeah.
Yeah, Busch Gardens did that when it blew it out of the water. So I can only imagine what we can do with Universal's budget.
Yeah, we need jumpy frogmen on this one for sure.
Yeah.
Didn't one of those pictures they leaked the other night, late at night, didn't one of them look like it might have been like a Bayou house? Or was that like a...
I think that was a
like it looked
Harvest
more-
of Souls one. The Scarecrow house. I think that's what people were attributing.
But remember,
it to,
there
it
was
looks like
one.
it was on corn.
Remember, there was one with like it looked like a swamp almost, like with vines and stuff.
I don't remember.
I think it was like the first one that they did. Remember when they did those 4?
Now I gotta bring them up again. Jeez.
What the heck is this? This is the new one? Vampire Hive? It's changed again?
I think it's still the same thing. They just keep changing the name.
These names
aren't official by any means.
It's obviously a spin-off of... It's going to be some spin-off of Vamp 55, right?
Yeah.
Let me see the vines.
Yeah, those are straight up vines. Looks like the ETQ.
Yeah, if you go on the Twitter, it's one.
Yeah, and then the 4 pictures they put out was, I think that was the Bayou one, and then the one from Ash vs. Evil Dead, the Recorder.
Yeah.
Shining, and then another original, which was probably
the Scarecrow. It looks like
Harvest of Souls.
So that's Harvest of Souls, like a scarecrowy house that's rumored.
Yeah, like the Dust Bowl, Great Depression, Scarecrow kind of thing.
Too soon.
And then they put like the typewriter from The Shining that has red rum pressed down. The keys for to spell out red rum.
Oh, I love those little Easter eggs.
So this house is rumored to be based on Bayou of Blood, the Scare Zone, because it was so popular. So.
And then Travis, you hinted Vampire Hive.
Awesome.
Yeah,
what's that about?
Vampire Hive. That's the one that's taking the place of what the Conjuring house was going to be. I've heard they had started work on the Conjuring, but not gotten a whole lot done on it. So don't expect like a whole Conjuring vibe. But it's kind of like. From what I've heard and like what I'm putting together, I'm gonna say it's like either a frat party or like a teen like party, like Halloween party, where everybody's drinking and all that, and then and of course it runs on the concept that vampires need to be invited into a house.
Right.
So what's a perfect time for that? Halloween, where they can wear a costume. So the vampires dressed up in costumes and entered the house with everyone and then killed everybody.
Cool.
So you've got a bunch of vampires that are dressed in costumes.
Oh, that's cool.
So that's why you had rumors of vampire clowns and vampire this and vampire that.
Oh, that's
fun. That's what I'm thinking, anyways, and that's what I put together from all the rumors that I've heard. I think that's pretty close to what it's going to be, and if so, I think that's going to be an awesome house.
That's a fun house.
Definitely.
And then what is this last?
So we're thinking 5 IPs and 4 originals, right?
Oh, we don't know.
Yeah, 5 IPs, 4 originals. No, we do know. They said it on Twitter.
Yeah.
They said it's a 5-4 split. So
unless it's 5 originals and 4 IPs, that would be even better.
It's they definitely said it's
I
IPs
wish,
and originals.
Yeah.
The other ones are Angels vs. Demons, which
What do you think that's gonna be?
Probably Angels versus Demons.
Oh, okay.
And it's gonna have a gothic vibe to it, but from what I've heard, there's a lot of surprises in this one. It's gonna be a very intense house.
That's the one that got changed from Catacombs versus Gothic or whatever, right?
Yeah, that's what people thought it was, like a combination of those two.
So it'll
they've
probably
changed
be
to more of this, and I think it's gonna be like kind of World War II based, because remember that picture we got, like a freeze frame from the trailer they put out. I got like 4 or 5 freeze frames of it and posted them up on Twitter.
Oh,
on
yeah,
the Dead Man's
yeah,
Digest
yeah,
page.
yeah.
One of them had dog tags in it, and a person that looked very much like a World War II soldier.
Yeah.
So I'm thinking that might be like they are like looking like soldiers, but you've got like the angels and the demons, but they still look like World War II soldiers fighting a battle.
Jeez.
It's like the good guys versus the Nazis, kind of.
Too real.
Anyways.
Yeah,
and then the last rumored house is Harvest of Souls, which is pretty much a dead ringer because I've seen pictures. I haven't posted them up out of respect, but I've seen pictures of the corn stalks growing in front of the sprung tent. So I know that it's definitely accurate, and they literally grew corn out there, and I'm sure it's going to be shredded to pieces after the first weekend. So get your pictures early, Travis.
You're gonna get some freaking frat boys come through there. They're gonna try to eat corn on the cob or something.
Yeah, you know it.
Trying to show off.
Yeah, so unfortunately that doesn't seem to ever last long around these things, but yeah, so we've seen the corn stalks growing out there, and the rumors are this is like set sometime like during the Depression, and it has something to do with a lot of scarecrows and that kind of thing. So
this is the one that was like the Scarecrow Dust Bowl or whatever originally.
Yeah, that's what it was put on as, and now it's listed as
Wizard of Oz.
Yeah, kind of. And then rumored scare zones, the Purge back again, which is always a solid scare zone. I'm okay with it being there every year, honestly. That's one thing that I'm cool with, because
it's got to be better than Survive or Die.
Yeah, yeah. Survive or Die was pretty good. I didn't have a problem with that one.
The only thing I didn't really care for was they just always like screaming in that scare zone over the loudspeaker. Like that got a little old. But I guess you kind of had to do that. But I liked the guys that were like the roamer guys that were in like the little side-by-sides and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Always just running around and making noise and trying to get people to join the little rogues. It was that was kind of cool.
Yeah, I think so.
Dude, towards the end of the event, they had people on like freaking motorcycles and all types of stuff, dude. I was like, man, y'all gonna run somebody over with motorcycles. Yeah, like they switched them out between that and Vamp 55.
Yeah, and they are looking for motorcycle drivers again this year. So I can guarantee you're going to see some dirt bikes in the Purge Zone again. Yeah, the next rumor I'm so excited for, and there's been some work done in the parks already for it. There's jack-o'-lanterns all over the Central Park area, and that is for Trick or Treat.
Yay! Sorry, I was mid-yawn. Yay!
You just got a tweet from that one guy.
Yeah. Yeah, so, I mean, this is something people have been looking for at Halloween Horror Nights since the movie came out, so it'll be awesome to see it represented, even if it's just for a scare zone for now. Hopefully this will, go towards a house later on.
Did you say that there's stuff up with those?
Yeah, there's jack-o'-lanterns in all the trees in Central Park right now.
Really?
They just went up, yeah.
Damn, I need to go out there.
We haven't gone out there since we went out there with you.
I haven't been out there in like a month. I need to go out there.
Yep.
Check that out. Is it like the ones that were there during? It was 25, right?
Right. The fairy tale one. I forget what that one's called.
Wasn't it?
The one with the fairies and the trees and all that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Grown Evil.
Yeah.
Is that it?
Yeah. Yeah.
Like that.
And then other ones that are rumored are the sci-fi creature, like the creature feature scare zone. And that is rumored over by San Francisco area.
Cool.
So
Swamp Thing and
that one could either be really good or really bad.
Or really cheesy.
I think it's going to turn out to be good because the other black and white scare zones they've done over there have been really cool. So
they better have a big UFO or something over there, crashed in
where the ship was last year.
Expect to be something like that for sure. And then Festival of the Dead has been another rumor for a while, kicking around for the Hollywood area.
Right.
So yeah, Purge was over in New York, by the way. I didn't say that.
Right.
Festival of the Dead in Hollywood, which would allow for like having like floats as centerpieces in the middle, along with scare actors walking around as well. I think that really fits in for that area in works because we've had multiple stages there that have worked very successfully in the past.
Mm-hmm.
They have to be ones that like people can get through, like where they're just kind of quick scares because you're right there at the front of the park. So
yeah, and then the only other scare zone, the main drag there, as soon as you come in. On the speculated map from Horror Night Nightmares, it's only listed as IP zone. So another IP of some kind, and as far as we know, like there are no rumors like coming out on this one.
So it's going to be an IP, not an original scare zone?
That's what people have said, but what IP, nobody knows.
Nobody's speculated?
Yeah, not even speculated. As far as I can find on the forums and everything, I haven't found anything about it.
Dang, I wonder how that one didn't get, unless they just don't still don't have one yet.
Yeah, I don't know, but location-wise, if they wanted to throw in maybe the clown guys from the current season of American Horror Story Cult, that might be a good place to do that.
Oh, they have a new one? There's a new season?
Yeah, the new season that's going to come out this year
Oh, gotcha.
is American Horror Story Cult, and they have
they
these,
released anything?
Yeah, they've done a couple of promo videos, and they have these like clown cultist looking guys, like really creepy looking dudes. Yeah.
Well, that would make sense with the house being right there.
Right there, yeah.
Yeah, it makes sense. So we'll see if that happens. That's purely speculation on my point, though.
And they can have their other chainsaw guys running around there too, other clowns.
Yeah.
And
we know Bill and Ted, this is their last year, like you said. Most likely that Fear Factor is getting raised for Ministry of Magic, add on to Diagon Alley. So that's most likely why that stage
and our
is going
dancers
away.
are coming back.
Yeah, Academy of Villains.
They're so good.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's not 100%. It's a rumor. They have not officially announced that.
Go on any of the dancers' Instagrams.
Come on. You know they're coming back. And I've heard that they're probably going to be coming back every year, like as a staple to Horror Nights. That's what I've heard. But I don't know how true that is.
Yeah. Well, I mean, as long as they're successful, we'll see.
But they're going to have to definitely add something else. One show isn't going to work.
Yeah.
And where, like we were talking about that the other day, where would they put it? It would... Horror Makeup is an awesome venue for that because, you know, the sound is good and everything, and it's pretty intimate, but that's the problem. It's intimate, so it's small.
Too small, yeah, way too small for the crowds that are coming in for it. So
what about the animal show?
Rumors are that's getting torn down as well for Nintendo. So
dang. And
on top of that, the stage is permanent there.
Right.
They've got a lot of stage features that they can't move, like the waterfall and the.
I think the problem is the stage isn't big enough. Bill and Ted, you know, they just build the set over what, you know, is Fear Factor, which is usually there, but it's a bigger stage, so they have more room to build on it.
Yeah.
Can't really do that with animal actors. Plus, animal actors, I mean, it looks big, but it's still not near as big as the Fear Factor one is.
And like I said, that set is permanent. You can't take up what's there. It's built into it, so you would have them running around on little animal platforms the whole time.
That'd be awkward.
That would not really work out for them. So yeah, that's all for Horror Nights that we have so far. I just want to run through real quick Howl-O-Scream because we don't have a lot of time here. I want to get through some questions as well. But Howl-O-Scream, we've got so far they've announced Motel Hell, Unearthed, Deathwater Bayou, Zombie Containment Unit coming back. Those are the houses that are returning so far. They've also announced that zombies will be riding not just the bumper cars this year, but all the rides.
Dude, that looks so crazy, man. I can't imagine what those on-ride photos are going to look like, dude.
Yeah. And including the trams. They've also posted pictures of the zombies on the trams that you ride to and from the park from the parking lot. So it might start at your car, basically, this year.
They're going to be touching your car and stuff. Be like, get away from my car, man.
Yeah. And when the Universal Orlando reveal turned out to be pretty disappointing after the 30 days, Howl-O-Scream took the opportunity to really quick jump on.
They jumped on that so quick.
Yeah, and what was it, on Snapchat or something? And they put up a few different things. They showed a walkthrough of one of their new houses. Very preliminary walkthrough, but it's called Demented Dimensions, and it looks very much like a Twilight Zone theme on there. So
I'm down for that.
Yeah, and then today they tweeted all day long with different tweets that just had one letter capitalized, and when they got done with it, that all those spelled out Undead Arena Live. This is not Zombie Containment Unit, but this is like the storyline has to do with like the worthy and the unworthy, and the worthy make the unworthy go through this zombie arena. Like it's kind of like a Purge kind of theme, like with the like I think it's kind of like a rich versus poor kind of aspect. But they've also included their zombies in it because that's what Howl-O-Scream likes to do.
Cool.
So that's what they've announced so far. They're always a solid event, so I'm excited to see what they do with those two new ones, and they always do a good job of improving the old ones as well. So
yeah,
definitely excited for Moving on to some emails and questions. The first one is from Brittany Dwinell. She says, here's a question for Halloween Horror Nights fans. Work allowing, I was planning on doing Halloween Horror Nights in Orlando this year, and my wish list was to do Hollywood as well. How lucky. Now, with both parks doing such similar things, is it worth it to go this year, or should I wait for a time in the future when the event is more varied? Thanks in advance.
Good questions.
Yeah. From what I've seen from past years, it's very different between our event and their event. Even the houses, like, there's not a lot of similarities in the houses between the two either.
Yeah.
And even if there's houses that are, similar, the same kind of house, it's neat to see, to have that opportunity to see two different creative teams create their version of the house. So that would be nice to kind of see.
Yeah.
I mean, if it's financially, if time and if you have it, I say, heck yeah, do it. But at the same time, it would kind of, if you're limited to, do something like this maybe once, in 10 years, maybe wait to another year, and you can kind of, you do Universal Orlando this year and then Hollywood another year. But hey, that would be cool to compare and contrast the same year, similar houses, just different perspective.
Yeah, I think it has to do with, your money situation, to be honest. And if you, I don't know. I mean, I'm kind of thinking about maybe taking a long weekend or something and going out there checking it out this year. Yeah. Just to see, because I haven't been out there, and for sure that the weather will be a lot nicer than Florida. It won't be so hot and humid. Yeah. But I don't know. To be honest with you, that's a hard question.
Yeah, and they got their Terror Tram this year, and like I said, they've got a whole other house that's different than ours. Their American Horror Story is different than ours. It focuses on one season, so you're going to see that delved into in more detail. And then it's just a very different event in that it's a dry event.
Oh yeah.
There's a lot of different aspects that are totally different in there. So I feel like you'd have no problem going to both. We have friends that go to both every year and don't have a problem with it. So if you're able to and it's if it's feasible for you, I would definitely recommend it. Why not?
Yeah, cool. It's cool to see like Nina was saying. It's cool to see the two different. While it is technically the same event, it's two different teams doing it on two different coasts. So you're gonna get the, it may be the same house, but it's not. I can guarantee you, just because of space and just another different few minds on it, it's going to be a totally different house. Yeah. But as long as you got that, it's still cool because you still have that common ground, because you're looking at Horror Nights in Orlando and you're like, yeah, I like a lot of that stuff, but then you get to go over and see it with a different mind. So, like I said, if you got the money, I would definitely do it.
Definitely. And then the next one here comes from Claire Goodwin. Do you want to read that one?
Sure. To anyone wondering about Halloween Horror Nights Coca-Cola codes, I just called Universal to ask about the Florida resident stipulation. He was awesome and basically said that it's fine and would add the code for me over the phone. I didn't even need one. All I had to do was print the tickets from a kiosk at the hotel or parks. Interesting.
And that is kind of telling you that's a way around having to actually see a person.
Yeah.
Probably. That's Universal support telling them to do that. So I feel pretty confident telling people from out of state and out of country that have been asking me about it, go ahead and do it.
Yeah. I mean, they've never ID'd us. I mean, at the ticket thing. I mean, how would they know?
Yeah.
So if it's at a kiosk and all that,
we picked ours up at Will Call last year. So you never even talked to a person at all. So yeah, there you go. You can use a code that exists, or like you said, like Claire did, call customer service, and it's very likely they'll add it on for you. You can even tell them that you can't find one in the area, because a few years ago I had that problem. I couldn't find one for our area at all. I couldn't find any logoed Coca-Cola products. So they just did it for me on over the phone as well. So, and then in previous years, just the words Coca-Cola have worked as well. So. It really depends on how they're doing it this year, but from what it sounds like they're kind of unofficially endorsing anybody using it. So
yeah, they don't care if they're getting your money. they're getting your money anyways, so it doesn't matter. Like, I feel like most of these prices are made up anyways. Like, you know, obviously they're made up if they're just letting anybody use the Coca-Cola codes. But I mean, yeah, that's cool that they're not just sticking to just Florida residents. So
yeah. The next one is from Gord Piscalny. Do you want to read that one?
Sure.
Yeah.
Gord says, I'm listening to the current episode right now. I'm assuming
UUOP,
he was talking about UUOP from this week.
Yeah.
He said, last year was my first year at Universal and HHN, and the slow build-up to the full reveal had my anticipation at fever pitch. I knew I was going again this year and bought my tickets pretty early on, but I was looking forward to the slow tease again. I'm excited to get back, but it's nowhere near as high as last year. I feel you, Gord.
I was about to say the same thing. I have the same feeling.
Well, yeah, that's us. We've been wanting to do shows and stuff like that, and
right.
You know, the hype just hasn't been there because they're not doing the reveals like they normally have. So, so yeah.
Yeah, it makes it hard to record shows if you don't have anything to talk about, unless you guys want to know about our daily lives, and I'm sure that's not very interesting. So,
yeah, not very terrifying.
No.
Yeah.
I think we're excited because Universal, you know, Horror Nights has a reputation, and that's what we're excited about. We know they're going to keep up to a standard that we, you know, everyone expects, and it's going to be a phenomenal and wonderful. But yeah, I really do. I honestly really do expect those, you know, miss those little teases, those little announcements, just out of the blue, just on a Tuesday. You just oh my God, this isn't going to be great. So, yeah, I feel you, Gord, I feel you.
Just got to hope they do like they usually do and just knock it out of the park. I mean, it sucks that we're not getting these like we want, but like a lot of people say, they don't really have to do anything. It's cool for us so we can do shows, but technically, you know, they really don't have to reveal anything until, you know, they want
Opening
to.
day,
So,
yeah, if they don't want to, yeah.
The next one's from Donna Pierce.
I want to do this one, Donna.
It's my turn.
I like Donna.
Okay, well, it's my turn.
Okay. Donna, I wanted to read yours.
Okay, she says, here's some HHN talk from the latest podcast, UUOP. Listening to your debate about attending Halloween Horror Nights, I probably am the perfect person to ask as far as how the announcements affect your decision to go or not go. I love Halloween Horror Nights as much as the next person, but I live out of state. I also love Universal. I base my decision on whether to go or not on what's there. The prime example is last year. I had planned on going to Halloween Horror Nights 25 because I heard it was going to be spectacular, so I started planning for it almost a year in advance. I had no intention of going to Halloween Horror Nights last year because we were coming to Universal for our anniversary in December, and I didn't want to make 2 trips. It was the announcement of a couple of houses that I really wanted to see that prompted me to book a short last-minute trip. Had they not had those houses, or had they not announced them enough in advance, I would not have gone. The announcements do matter, and it has to be something that intrigues me. I am sure that there are other people like me. I was already planning on the trip this year. Had I not been planning on it, I probably would not be going to Halloween Horror Nights this year because of the lack of announcements.
I see what she's saying.
Yeah, I think that's definitely a completely valid opinion.
Yeah, we take for granted living so close to the parks, but that's an excellent point. You know, coming from a different state or country. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I understand. I mean, I get it. I get it.
Yeah.
A lot of people, you know, it takes a lot to get out here. I mean, if, you know, you're not happy with, you know, what's going to be, you know, what was announced, you say, you know what, let's just save our resources. We'll just dedicate next year and we'll see what comes out next year. So, yeah, that must be really frustrating for you right now, but hopefully we'll get some more announcements. And
it's got to come soon.
Yeah, it has to.
I mean, and she lives, I'm assuming Donna lives in America.
Yeah.
So imagine that for, you know, people from UK or even farther that want to get over here.
Yeah.
It's got to be even more hard on them, you know.
Yeah.
It may, who knows, it may end up hurting sales this year. You never know.
Yeah, it might. It really might.
It's possible. We'll see. If so, good, because there's too many people there.
It's not gonna hurt. It's not gonna hurt local sales, but
well, you know what? I would like to see their sales get hurt because that's what it's going to take for them to take a look at the event and do like a full overhaul. You know what I mean? It's not until the event starts hurting that they're going to go, all right, now it's time to make a change. And when they make a change like that, it's something cool for us, you know.
Yeah.
So.
Not meaning we need a change yet, but eventually we're going to need a change.
I'm okay with the change now.
Okay.
Do you want to read the last one, Nina?
Of course. Allison Schilberg. Question about the annual pass holders getting early entrance into 3 of the houses at Horror Nights for the first 2 weekends in September. Does that only apply to those not staying for Stay and Scream, or does that apply to Stay and Scream as well? Because I know we get let out super early to the houses if you do Stay and Scream, like I've done the last few years. So I wonder if that's just the same time as Stay and Scream, and they let annual pass holders into the park before the public.
Well, first of all, Stay and Scream, you don't get in super early.
Yeah.
You get in maybe 15, 20 minutes ahead of the event. Right?
I think it's like 45.
I don't know about 45. I don't think so.
6.
We weren't like from Finnegan's. We didn't have 45 minutes.
think
After you got
like
through the first house, they were
20.
already opening the gates.
I think like 20. I'm trying to picture my watch when they let us free wild animals into the park.
I feel like it varies every day. Like sometimes they'll drop
really
the gates
does.
earlier.
Yeah.
It does, but I mean, I felt like when we got out of the house, the first house, the gates were opening or open, and people were coming in from the outside.
I feel like it doesn't even really matter anyways, because majority of the time you can only get through one house anyways because the other ones aren't even open. So
Yeah.
Well, it's true, but yeah, and I do recall that you can't get from area to area. Like you're kind of stuck in that one area until everything opens up.
right.
If I'm not mistaken. Yeah.
Exactly. So if you do get through the house very quickly, when you come out, you're just gonna.
Like sit at a rope and wait for the next one. Or
Yeah,
something.
they block off the areas. That's
Yeah,
what
you're not
different Stay and Scream
free.
locations are. You got a dedicated house to that.
Until
So.
the official event is officially open. Yep.
Yeah, but
Well, yeah.
I don't know what getting early access into 3 of the houses. I haven't heard that.
Let's see. Actually, there was.
oh yeah, no, we got into 3 houses early with the annual pass holders last year.
You talking about 3 different houses in 3 different areas, or 3 different?
No,
or
the annual
3?
pass holders were all in one area. It was over by the Central Park. The first time they had the whole
Oh,
area
it was
in
the
Central
sprung
Park.
tent ones you're talking about.
Yes,
But
sprung
that-
tent and parade building.
They did that last year though, or was that during 25?
They did it during 25, and they did it last year. They had
Yeah, I
the
guess they
pass
did.
holder events.
Yeah, I guess that's true. Because
Yeah.
it was Texas Chainsaw.
Yeah, so the difference between the pass holder events and the Stay and Scream.
Okay, so let's. See.
You just have an extra. Yeah, you just have an extra blocked off. So instead of doing like only being able to do like one house in the area, you'd be able to do 3.
Well, you can always do that over there at the Simpsons holding area. You typically get those 3 houses.
Yeah.
So,
But yeah, by the time you get there, get through it, the event's open sometimes.
Well, yeah, but you can typically get through those 3.
Yeah.
And it also, keep in mind, it also depends on where you stay. If you're at a Stay and Scream or whatever in an unpopular house, like you're probably going to get through that house a lot quicker because there's not as much people trying to run to it. Like American Horror Story last year, like if you were at the back of the pack, like you would still be waiting like 20 minutes to get into the house. So
Let's see. So last year, there was exclusive entrance located at the front of Universal Studios, and that's for annual pass holders. Access to 3 designated houses 1 hour before anyone else.
An hour.
So pretty much she's asking, can you do this and Stay and Scream?
No, it's the annual pass holder is a separate thing. And what we're trying to say here real quick is the benefits that you got at the annual pass holders versus the Stay and Scream were that, like she said, the exclusive entrance, the access to 3 designated houses an hour before anybody else, that's well before the other wings open up, and priority seating for the first showing of Bill and Ted's Excellent Halloween Adventure.
So this is when you had to go to the side and they give you the wristband and the tents and all that. Yes, okay.
Correct. So yeah. So that was the benefits.
Yeah, that's the one that has the separate entrance.
Yeah, on the side.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay, I get it. Yep.
Yeah. So you go in there and you can go to the holding area. I think starting at like around 4 or 5 o'clock, and then you have to sit in the holding area until like an hour before the event started, and then they opened it up to let you into those 3 houses.
Yes, I remember now. Yes.
Yeah, and I believe we were able to get through all 3 of them, but the lines were surprisingly long for some of them, even with just the pass holders there. So,
And the other thing is, you may not have as good of a run through on these because your eyes can't adjust, or maybe the little be a little bit more scarier for you because you can't see anything when you're going through the house.
I mean,
like
nothing.
even if you were like, I even tried to wear tried to keep sunglasses on before, and it was still kind of hard to see even with sunglasses. If you don't have sunglasses, you're going to be kind of screwed.
And also, one of the scare actors from last year told us on our Dead Man's Digest Facebook group, which you should join, by the way.
Right.
A lot of cool discussions over there. Told us that they actually have an extra shift for those horror night events. So that's something that they typically don't have people there that early. So that they actually have to accommodate. That's how early you're getting in. They have to accommodate a whole new shift for that. So.
Yeah, and sometimes that's the other thing. Thinking about it now, those houses. If you go with the early entry for the APs, sometimes they're a little bit lightly staffed because people are still rolling in. So you may not get all the scares or whatnot. That's the other thing about the super early houses.
Yeah. So thank you very much, everybody, for your questions there. Like I said, join our Facebook group, the Dead Man's Digest. Post there. That's where we get all our questions from. So I would like everybody to be on there so we can be able to, discuss things and contribute. And, of course, if you have any comments about this show or any of our shows or any questions for future shows, if you're preparing for Horror Nights for the first time, if you're doing any tours for the first time, I think we've done them all between us. Mm-hmm. So definitely hit us up and let us know, and we'll be able to explain everything to you in detail on the show. So sure. We've also got a lot of helpful people on the page as well. So as soon as you ask a question, usually you have an answer within 5 or 10 seconds. So so it's a really good resource for you. So again, that's the Dead Man's Digest on the Facebook group. So you can just search for it. You'll find it pretty easily.
Follow us on Twitter too.
Yeah, follow us on Twitter at Dead Man's Digest. I'm at UUOP Darren.
Travis Terrell 12 is mine.
And I'm not on Twitter. I'm on YouTube.
And Nina Stripes
plug
on
that.
YouTube.
You gotta always plug. Go for it.
I'm learning, y'all. So it's Nina Stripes with an S and an E, not strips. I don't strip. I stripe.
Yep. You gotta say, smash that like button.
Subscribe.
And I think you should also hit up Travis's Instagram. It is a truly amazing thing.
Thank you, man.
Yes.
Get him to 100,000.
Is that also Travis Terrell 12 on there as well?
It's T Terrell 494.
Oh, T Terrell 494. There you go.
Yeah.
Some awesome Disney pictures and hopefully some good Horror Nights pictures coming up soon on there as well.
Yeah, I've got a new camera that should be a lot better in low light, so let's do that. Don't know about getting a tripod in there. I'll try, but it's probably not going to happen. May have to buy a Gorilla Pod or something. They seem to be a little bit more lax on that, but
there you go. Or just be really good at balancing it on garbage cans and stuff.
Right? That's what I have to resort to sometimes, man. You see what Universal does to me?
Yep, you gotta do what you gotta do.
Right?
It's all
anything
for the
to
shot.
Get the shot.
Yep. All right, so yeah, that's gonna do it for episode 2 here. Join us hopefully very soon for episode 3.
Bye-bye.
Bye.